China violated me. They were inside of me. So I got the China virus. Omicron. It wasn't that bad. I'm not gonna lie. The first night kind of sucked. Fevers, vomiting. But you don't want to know the details. Or do you? No, you don't. You don't want to know the details. But yeah, Omicron. That's why I haven't uploaded in almost 3 weeks. That plus, being busy with work. But when you add Omicron on top of it, it becomes almost 3 weeks. But since I am all healthy, even though I didn't take the Fauci ouchie, I thought, why not make a video about China's tactics defeating the virus? Shaming its citizens, locking them down even if it means they have to starve to death. Then we can take a look at Dr. Fauci finally admitting, accidentally, that he worked with the Chinese Communist Party. And finally, we can take a look at leaders around the world trying to imitate China's authoritarian tactics. A very nice and wholesome video. Enjoy! Before we begin, I think it's crucial to point something out. There are 1.4 billion Chinese citizens. I don't hate all of them. In fact, I only hate a very small fraction of them. When I hate China or I hate Chinese, I don't mean Chinese people. I don't mean the Chinese population. I mean this. The Chinese Communist Party, which only has 95 million members. Now, those 95 million members are ruling over the 1.4 billion Chinese people and have a lot of influence around the world. And those are the people who I hate. These 95 million Chinese communists. Now that that's out of the way, let's begin talking shit about China. I'm starving to death. I probably should not make fun of him. I'm starving to death. Panic in China as millions forced inside in strict COVID lockdowns. Do we need to read the story? No. Because we got video. Twitter. Love it, hate it, it's the best, it's the worst. Let's begin with California, 2022, colorized. A Twitter history joke, but this is very serious. So let's begin with this clip right here. Let's get some volume. So these people in white in the truck jails are being paraded around town and shamed. A normal tactic of government. 13 million residents of the city of Xi'an remain on COVID lockdown, one of the strictest since reports out of Wuhan in 2019. There are two reasons for this, for the public shaming like this. First, it makes the public comply. I don't want to be shamed like that. And second, it divides society. The dirties and the not dirties, the ones who comply and the ones who don't comply. And then once you have groups, humans tend to be tribalistic and hate. Residents crying and screaming into the early morning hours while forced to remain quarantined in their homes. Like I said before, screaming, crying that they're starving. Many residents of Xi'an took to smuggling themselves out of the city as the communist government descended on it in the last week. Look at that. Look how they have their faces and their names. I wish I knew what the guy filming was saying. Was he sympathizing with them? Was he sympathizing with the CCP? I guess I'll never know. I don't speak Chinese. But there's more things I want to show you. Okay? Because people around the world are trying to imitate the draconian measures of the Chinese. Here we have Emmanuel Macron of France. Emmanuel Macron denounced France's 5 million unvaccinated as non-citizens and vows, I really want to piss them off, and so we will continue to do so to the bitter end. That's the strategy. To the bitter end. What does that mean? Till everyone's forced vaccinated? Till the pandemic's over? What is the bitter end? Non-citizens. An interesting way to look at the citizens of your country. It's also how the Nazis describe the Jews, but who cares, am I right? The Germans should care, because in Hamburg enacts new COVID restrictions. Only the boosted are now allowed to attend restaurants, cultural and sporting events indoors without testing. So if you have 2 vaccines, that ain't enough. You're just a dirty anti-vaxxer. You need a booster. And 6 months from now, you need your 2nd booster. And 6 months after that, your 3rd booster. What's the point? What's the point? Guys, I just had the disease. I was fine. After a week, no symptoms. A mild cough, and now completely fine. It was bad for a day and a half. It's not worth risking anything. If you're young, if you're fit, what's the point? None of these measures make sense. But it gets worse. It gets worse. Because, as soft as French people are, they're fucking soft. Canadians are actually softer and worse. Okay. Here's the Prime Minister of Canada being worse than the President of France. Hey, you know what's even worse than that? He's speaking French too. Pussy. We'll read. We got to read, unless you speak French. Which, if you speak French, I don't know if we can be friends. So he's saying that the people who are against vaccines are extremists. And now he's saying people who don't believe in science, they're often misogynist and also often racists. What do these things have to do with not wanting to get an experimental vaccine? Now you're going to see why I say experimental later. Trust me, I'm not CNN. No fake news here.
Sont souvent misogynes, souvent racistes aussi. C'est un petit groupe, mais qui prend de la place. Et là, il faut faire un choix en tant que leader, en tant que pays. Est-ce qu'on tolère ces gens? Est-ce qu'on tolère?
I'd rather speak Chinese than French. The Prime Minister of Canada is saying, should we tolerate these people? He's talking about 20% of his country. Should we tolerate them? What if the answer is no? What do we do with them now? Concentration camps, anybody? Or maybe I'm just being cynical and my mind always goes to the worst. Okay, what if the answer is no? What happens with the 20% of your country that you no longer tolerate? What do you do with them? Forced inoculations? Sick fuck. Oh, yeah. Now, before we get to this clip of Fauci, I want to show you this one because it's a bit shorter and it's where he admits accidentally, he hasn't actually admitted, it's a Freudian slip, which makes it better. He worked with the Chinese Communist Party.
COVID-1 clearly originated in China, and we were fortunate to escape a major pandemic. So we really had to learn a lot more about the viruses that were there, about whether or not people were getting infected with bad viruses. So in a very minor collaboration, as part of a subcontract of a grant, we had a collaboration with some Chinese scientists. And
whoopsie! Fucking Fauci, dirty fuck. All right, now, guys, bear with me. This is a 2-minute clip. It's funny, It's informative, and it's worth it. And you're going to want to find it on my Twitter if you want to Gaston the Ginger on Twitter and send it to your friends. I'm going to fast forward just a little bit.
Quite effective, extraordinarily efficacious, 94 to 95% for mild to moderate disease, and virtually 100% efficacious, because the real world effectiveness is even more impressive than the results of the clinical trial.
Everything's looking good. 100% effective. 100%. Uh-oh. 99%. 97. 96. '88, '87, '86, '85. What's happening? You get the point. Fucking Fauci. But wait, there's more. Before we end this video, I want to show you that even in America, we have authoritarianism. Check this out. What a lovely new world we are living in when you go out for a meal and a squad of police barge in, persecute a little boy, then demand to see everyone else's papers. Papers, please! This is the Vax passport with so many. This is the Vax passport world so many are begging for. This, my friends, is New York.
You're not gonna pay for it? Yeah, you have the card? I know, but you don't have it, then you're gonna have to leave. And if not, we're bringing something.
Now we don't need to watch a 2-minute video. The kid starts crying. And I also saw some people like Tim Pool defending, well, not defending the cops, but saying, hey, the people knew there was a vaccine mandate. They read their papers. It's a private establishment. The private establishment has the right to call the police and ask them to leave. That's a bullshit argument, Tim. Come on, you're better than that. The only reason why they're abiding by the mandate and calling the police is because of the government in the first place. You think Burger King or whatever this restaurant doesn't want the more amount of clients as possible? Of course they do. But this is authoritarian bullshit. And when people don't stand up to the government, the people that don't comply get harassed. And that's the name of the story. So as you can tell, I've got my energies. I feel quite fine. I didn't get the Fauci ouchie. Why? Because I'm young. I'm 28. No need. I'm fit. Relatively. Haters will tell you I'm not. People who don't hate will tell you I am. What I'm trying to say here is, by the way, from the age groups 18 to 45, record-breaking overdoses and the #1 cause of death in America for 2020. Overdoses. Not this virus. Let's stop locking down. Let's stop with these draconian measures. Let's all live our lives. Thank you for watching, my friends. I'm back to making videos. I got another one coming, I think tomorrow or the day after, because New York has gone. They got a new Soros DA. And its first order of business is not a good one. Thank you for watching. Keep your eye out for my next video. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you next time.